Hello everybody, my name is NikoTheLegend, also known as the Well-Mannered Teenager and the Snowflake. And today we're going to be talking about how Anthem, Mass Effect, and Dragon Age were not at E3 of 2019. And that is very unfortunate for a lot of us that were hoping to see something keeping these franchises alive. All we know is that Mass Effect is slowly coming out of being on ice. Dragon Age is being worked on or rebooted or whatever, building from the ground up again using Anthem's toolset. And then Anthem is supposed to get the Cataclysm event that's supposed to promise a good endgame structure for the already broken game. But it seems like we can't even get any of that as well. Something that they've been working on for so long, something that's the most prominent, which is Anthem. And unfortunately, EA Play at E3 2019 didn't really show anything promising to keep us on our toes. Actually, it broke our toes. We were on our toes and then they broke them. Yeah, some people would it begs the question of why were they even there in the first place. I get there were some other things that they were showing, but they were just chilling, hanging out and talking about games and stuff. It wasn't even a conference. It was just like some interview stuff. Which I guess it's okay if you want to just know more information about the other current titles like Battlefield and Battlefield, but they didn't have a conference like last year or the year before that, which is really unfortunate. Like I said, no Mass Effect and no Dragon Age. I honestly, folks, I don't really care about Anthem and I never will. So anybody who's still defending that game, you need to wake up. Now, the people that are still hoping for a wing and a prayer for Mass Effect and Dragon Age, well, this was probably the best way to do it. What would have saved E3 with EA there would have been something showing, showing something would have been nice, like a Mass Effect or Dragon Age teaser, but obviously we all know that's not going to happen. And if you don't know the current state of those two franchises, well, let me tell you, they're pretty far away from releasing a game. The closest we have is Dragon Age out of both Mass Effect and Dragon Age franchises. But it would have been nice to know for them to talk about the games that are missing in action. It would have been really nice to get something like what they're feeling and what their mindset is right now. And if they did touch up on it, I didn't give a shit enough to talk about it or to even look up the EA Play. I actually tried to do the research and look up any articles discussing Mass Effect or Dragon Age or even Anthem. And apparently there was absolutely nothing about their approach at E3. And no writers, no bloggers, no journalists even gave two shits talking about how those games were missing in action. Like I said, I don't care about Anthem, but Mass Effect and Dragon Age. And like I said, it can be pretty heartbreaking to not see any current update with these games. They could have, like I said, they could have at least brushed up on it, gave us an idea where it's at. What do they want to do with the franchise next? And this answers some very important questions. It takes a lot of, I'm not just saying EA, the developers working on the games, but just maybe any bioware employees. I don't know if any of them showed up, but it takes a lot of courage to admit that your game Anthem is just complete trash. But they're not even really admitting that. Despite they're like, oh yeah, we learned some lessons. We learned a lot of lessons from Anthem and its development. I'm like, guys, it may have been you a lot of the times, but it was also EA. So it's a shame that they can't make fun of their boss. And as I said before, I was just hoping for a little glimmer of hope. Now, I don't want to keep beating a dead horse to the ground, but I want to know what you guys were hoping to see at E3 of 2019 with EA. I mean, honestly, they shouldn't have even shown up. They could have easily have made their own little online Nintendo Direct type thing to where they could have just showed a little a little direct, and it kind of goes through the games and stuff, and it's like, hey, this is what's coming out, hey, this is new content, this is what's that. So they could just save everyone the trouble of even coming out to E3, period. But yeah, everything is left in the dark. There is no Mass Effect or Dragon Age news as of late, which is really unfortunate because usually there are people always writing about it, but not too much. And I hope this doesn't make people lose faith into the company of BioWare, because they have created amazing games for us. And they maybe deep down they really want to release a game that will make us remember the glory days of BioWare. And on a side note, it is cool that we are getting a lot of BioWare, old school BioWare RPGs being released on consoles for the first time, and even on the Switch, like Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights, which is really awesome. I'm really hoping that those ports do well. But obviously, BioWare has no involvement in that. Give me a break, you know. They're not worried about that. They're working on, supposedly, Anthem and the next Dragon Age. So, let me know down in the comments. This is just a reminder that these games were missing in action. Just let me know what you were expecting to see. And are you starting to not care anymore? And just leave it alone and just let it just die out. And then maybe one day they'll show something and we'll get to be happy about it. But anyway, folks, my name is NikoTheLegend. Take care, Pathfinders.